What up, gang? It's your boy Zah back with another banger. Absolutely, I missed you guys too. Zah, where you been? Man, life has been lifing, but I'm back. And guess what? I'm back with another banger. A series of sort of questions that I get all the time, stemming around stabilization and generational work, right? Questions like, Zah, once I get to F3, will I be done with my line? Zah, what happens once I get to F4? Zah, these herms that I seen, will they be gone if I just keep going all the way to F5? The answer is usually always the same. It really just depends. See, as long as you know your destination, then 9 times out of 10, you'll have the directions in order to get there. And that's kind of really what we're going to learn today. Making sure that you're prepared on making your next move, your best move, and planning out your strategies and all of your tools in your toolbox so that you can have the best opportunity at creating a legacy strain. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Get it.
Like, comment, share, subscribe, you heard me?
Yeah, you know it.
Turn up the leaf blower and the lawnmower. He smoked the sour. Should've been a hippie, should've been a shower. Bread with no dread, black cock, oh yeah.
Another thing, don't forget to join the Discord.
What's up, gang? I missed you guys, man. I will admit, I really did miss you guys. We got some good news, though. I heard we got a strain dropping. New strain on the way to be released this month, man. We are releasing on the 23rd of May, so you can pre-order now. It's a strain that I've been working on that I initially started about 5 years ago. Molotov Mac. There's been some developments in that strain, and we'll get into that in some future videos. But stay tuned for more details on Molotov Mac release, as well as the release of Team Zaza merch, right? The clothing is here. A couple pieces are already on the website, so make sure you check that out. And I really wanted to touch on a topic of generational stabilization and generational work, right? When you ask questions like, Zah, what happens once we get to F4? I don't know. It just depends. You have to have already started with a game plan. And your first filial generation, filial generation, however you want to call it, however you want to pronounce it, your first F1 generation is your parental generation. It's the only generation that offers that outcross, that distinct separation of genes, right? One parent coming from this, one parent coming from that, completely not related. This is the only opportunity to observe and isolate hybrid vigor. You know, we hear the term heterosis all the time. F1 stage, we can identify and isolate hybrid vigor. Hybrid vigor, we know, is when an offspring can outperform both parents. And that's something that if we can isolate and lock down and fix early on, we're off to a very good start. I would have to say, if you were able to isolate, you know, 2 parents that both possessed hybrid vigor and breed them together, oh man, dude, it's literally going over and beyond the Call of Duty, right? We all want stabilization, and the term is thrown out so loosely, especially by pollen chuckers and growers. And we'll get into details about pollen chuckers because a lot of times people put on the shoe and they shouldn't necessarily be wearing it, right? You don't have to wear, just because you're not this experienced breeder doesn't mean that you're a pollen chucker. There is a middle. There is a middle, and that middle is founded on education. So when we think in terms of F1, it is your foundation, your parental generation, your distinct parents, your key to opening up the initial diversity, your opportunity to isolate hybrid vigor. So many beautiful things happening during that first initial outcross. You have to understand the differences between F1 and the rest of the follow generations. Once you understand those distinct differences, just like F1 generation, mother and father carry two distinct differences. Once you grasp the concept and understand the differences from F1 to F2, then you've already started on a good path, right? Let's talk about F2.
Like, comment, share, subscribe, you heard me?
Yeah, you know it.
So I think a lot of people tend to confuse diversity and variety, right? Now, diversity may not necessarily equate to variety. It can, but it doesn't have to necessarily equate to variety. Diversity can be recessive, dominant, or a mixture of both. As to where the F2 generation, we're now introduced to recessive traits based on the initial inbreeding. If F1 was the parental generation in the introduction to diversity in those two distinct parents, F2 is now your introduction to our inbred line. This is the introduction to inbreeding. Brother and sister now reproduce. And when we introduce brother and sister as two reproductive partners, we now open the door of variety, right? Initially, F1, we created diversity, and now we've opened the door to variety, right? Because we have recessive traits. Recessive traits. And these recessive traits are the difference between what we see in dominant traits and what we don't see. They are not identified or visible at all during the F1 stage. The F1 generation, we won't see any recessive traits. Now, as we inbreed and bring brother and sister together, we now open the gene pool. We open the gene pool to recessive traits and more variety that we wouldn't have seen in F1 or F3, F4 moving forward. This is where your selection phase is very, very important. F1 and F2. These stages are imperative for your selection because they shape the future of your line and which direction you're going to be, you're going to move. If you find the very best of the best early on, then you'll continue to produce the best initially from the beginning. And it really is that simple. That's why it is very important to take your time, study, know what to look for, and how to isolate and fix these very important traits into your line so that these traits, which are inheritable traits, are always passed down through future generations. And that's the objective, right? We are shaping the clay. We have all control over the direction that our line ends up, right? And ultimately, we want a line that's full of desirable traits, with 0 to none undesirable traits. And they say, well, Zah, how do you do it, man? Men lie, Women lie, but numbers, they don't lie. You've never had a germination issue? Come on, out of all the thousands of seeds and packs over the years, never had a complaint. Someone come to me and say, man, this is just bad. I don't like it. It's a runt. It's not good quality. And absolutely your favorite never had a herm. And I'm proud to say that because it shows you, it's proof in the pudding that the work that you put in, you will get the results. That desired outcome is what it's all about. Your desired outcome, and you have the control over shaping the direction of your line. In these F1, F2, F3, F4, whatever it is the roads that take you in all of the different directions that you need to go to get to your destination, right? Everything must have purpose. I can't answer the question of what should I do once I get to F3? I don't know. You should have already had that understood before you made the plan to go to F3. You should have already had your destination and where you wanted to go before you had the directions on how to get there, right? You can't have directions on how to get somewhere without knowing where you're going, and vice versa. It's very similar concept, right? I can't tell you what is happening or what's gonna happen in F3 when I don't even know why you're going to F3. Do you even need to go there, right? Only you can answer those questions. For example, maybe I needed to isolate a particular trait. Let's say mold resistance. I need to continuously inbreed. So I'm going to find, let's say, the most mold resistant 2 offspring in my F2 generation. I'm going to find the brother and sister that contain the most mold resistance that appear to, and I'll be able to identify that through proper stress testing, right? This is why stress testing myself, doing my own stress testing work is imperative. I'm somebody with 20 plus years of experience. Do you think I can give one of my good friends a batch of seeds and say, hey, I need you to identify hybrid vigor. I need you to stress for mold resistance. I need you to stress. No, they don't have the experience. They don't know yet. They're still students, right? But an inexperienced pollen chucker will always, oh, here, just take the testers, here, because they don't know. They don't know themselves. They don't have 20 plus years experience. They have 0 years experience, right? And they just really playing the matchmaking game.
Like, comment, share, subscribe, you heard me?
Yeah, you know it. So, to drive that point home, right, you have to know your destination in order to have the directions to get there, right? If F2 is the introduction of isolating and locating those 2 best, those 2 most athletic, in this case, the most mold resistance. If F2 is the introduction and me finding them, then F3 is the continuation of that project, right? I need to continue, and now once we breed together, the 2 most mold resistant, brother and sister, they now create a series of offspring. I need to continue my project. I need to continue my work of finding the most mold resistant, so I do it again. And I also maintain whatever traits are important to me, because remember, traits are not independently assorted, right? Mendel explained that to us in his law of independent assortment. They are not connected together. One has nothing to do with the other. F3 is the continuation. I need to, once again, continue on being consistent with isolating and finding the 2 best mold resistance, and then once again bringing them together, right? It's all about allelic frequency, right? We are looking to increase the frequency of alleles that possess the traits that we're looking for. As we continue to breed, inbreed, down the line, the best mold resistance, that number or percentage of alleles will now increase over each generation, right? It continues to increase. And we are monitoring the allelic frequency. We are monitoring how much of our population is now mold resistant until eventually we're satisfied. They may take F3, they may take F5, it may take F6.
Hope everyone enjoys it here. Please follow the stream.
And who are you, sir? Yo, OBS be tweaking. Yeah, so allelic frequency. And that goes the same for undesirable traits. Same way. You may have a hermaphrodite. You may have a hermaphrodite and you want to remove it. And just a word of advice, don't waste your time, man. Don't work backwards. I'm just giving this as an example. Start with something that has no undesirable traits. Start with 2 diverse parents that you've done your research. You know, you've went looking around, you found something that doesn't possess undesirable traits on each side. The same with F4, right? F4, no difference. It's the continuation of our project. So whatever it is that you're working on, in this case, mold resistance, continue on if you need to, man. In F5, F6, whatever it takes. We got some breaking news, man. Molotov Mac, the new strain, will be released on May 23rd. If you want to pre-order, hit me in the DM. Packs will sell out fast. Limited edition packs. Molotov Mac is a cross of Dead Ops OG times Mac 1. So over the years, I kind of put it on the back burner and I focused primarily on Dead Ops. Shout out to Dead Ops. Dead Ops recently just took first place indoor and outdoor for the Irby's Cup, Irby's Award in Trinidad. Much love. Dead Ops has been kicking butt in Trinidad. Shout out to Tony Trini. I love you, my brother. One of my students who has been, came to me about 4 years ago with an issue. He says, Zah, man, people are charging $1,000 for 10 seeds here, man. The game is messed up. You know, people take advantage of you. I said, listen, the first thing I said to him, I said, we're going to change that. Me and you, we're going to work together to change that. And he's been studying ever since, and I've been teaching my bro, and I mentored him over time, and he's this breeder, and he's this cup winner. That's about 6 first places for Dead Ops. He took 4 first place in 2024. Now he just took 2 more first place. He took indoor and outdoor, both first place. So shout out to Irby's Awards, man. I will be in Trinidad, hopefully before the year is out. I love you guys over there. Team Zaza merch has officially launched, man. I got some pieces up on the website. Bear with me. I'm working the website every day, man. It's been a hell of a month. I haven't been around, but it's been a hell of a month or 2. Rest in peace to my sister. She passed away. She lost a battle to cancer. Some of you knew her as No Limit Edibles. I knew her as one of my closest friends. And it really just kind of set the pace for a really, really interesting month, man. My 95-year-old aunt, she started to take a turn in her glaucoma, take a turn in her health. So out of nowhere, I had to get up and uproot me and the dogs and go and just kind of assist her for a week. That just really threw everything off. Meanwhile, I'm focusing on trying to stay consistent. Molotov Mac releases on the 23rd, so got to be consistent. We got Team Zaza merch. All of these things happening at the same time. Meanwhile, full-time work and college still full-time and YouTube and Team Zaza. So much kind of just hit me all, and I needed to step back from YouTube. But I even missed QCE, the podcast, man. 2 weeks in a row. And I never thought I would miss QCE, the podcast, man. I never thought that it would be something that I just wouldn't be able to make. You know, I'm so committed to just bringing you guys quality community and education. And, you know, I feel like I dropped the ball, man. But life was lifing, bro. So, you know, we're back, though. We back better than ever. So we're going to be rocking out crazy for the next 3 weeks, for the whole rest of the month, man. YouTube videos, some QCE stuff, QC Eater Podcast. We're going to be doing a lot of reactions and just overall just bringing you guys good quality content, man, because the community needs it. So make sure you tap in with the website. Check out the 3 pieces I put up, man. If you need grow equipment, hit up acinfinity.com. Use code TEAMZAZA. I earn a commission, so it helps out a ton. And make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Comment in this video here. Let me know if you'll be pre-ordering the Molotov Mac. And let me know what's in your garden right now, because it's going to be important for the next video that I hopefully will be dropping tomorrow, all right? Thank you, guys. I love you guys. And I'll see you tomorrow at QC Eater Podcast. All right? I'm out of here, man.